Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going beyond just filling a prescription. We're going to decode the conversation that happens, or should be happening, at the pharmacy counter.
So, let's start with a question I bet a lot of us have asked ourselves. You're standing at the pharmacy counter, maybe picking up a prescription or asking a question, and you get that feeling, are they really hearing me?
Because, a great healthcare interaction isn't supposed to be just a transaction. It's an exchange, a two-way street. But let's be honest, sometimes it can feel a lot more like a one-way lecture than a real conversation.
So today, we're pulling back the curtain and exploring a new way to think about these interactions. The whole idea is to give you the playbook so you can feel more empowered and get the most out of every single visit to the pharmacy.
A truly effective interaction is built on empathy and trust, where information flows in both directions. And the key thing to realize is that a good conversation actually has a structure, a pretty simple three-step process. So let's break it down.
Okay, let's dive right into the first stage, the assessment. This is where the pharmacist's #1 job is to truly understand your story and figure out what brought you in.
This step is the absolute foundation of the whole thing. It's where a pharmacist builds trust and rapport. They should be making sure you have the privacy and the comfort to speak openly, which shows they really value your confidentiality.
Now, to get that complete picture, pharmacists use a strategic mix of questions. They start out broad to understand the big picture, and then they zoom in to get the specific details they need to make a safe recommendation.
An open-ended question like this one is basically an invitation. It says, hey, I'm listening. Tell me what's going on in your own words. This is how they build that rapport and really understand your primary concern.
And then a closed-ended question like this helps them zero in on the specific details they need. A really skilled pharmacist will mix both of these together, guiding the conversation so it feels natural, not like some kind of interrogation.
Now, this is really interesting. Nonverbal communication, body language, it actually sends more than half of the message. So you want to watch for these cues. Open posture, genuine eye contact, and getting rid of physical barriers, all of these things signal interest and respect.
So once they really get your situation, the conversation flows smoothly into the next phase, the education stage. This is where they explain the what and the why of your treatment.
And this isn't just a data dump of side effects either. It's a structured process. A good pharmacist will work with you to set goals, help you choose a treatment, give you the info you need, and, this part is key, they'll double-check that you've actually understood it all.
And this slide just brilliantly illustrates a crucial point. Effective education is all about clarity. It means ditching the confusing medical jargon. They should be talking about painkillers, not analgesics, and on the skin, not topically. Plain and simple.
The goal here is to provide information clearly, not just quickly. And that means speaking slowly, using a friendly tone, and being super precise. For instance, 1 hour before a meal is so much clearer than the vague, on an empty stomach.
All right, now for a crucial step that, honestly, often gets missed. The conversation doesn't just end when you walk out the door. The best interactions always include a plan for a follow-up.
When a pharmacist offers to call you in a few days, it's not just a nice little gesture. It is a critical part of the care process. It shows they're committed to your ongoing health and want to make sure the treatment is actually helping.
And since they can't see your nonverbal cues on the phone, the verbal and environmental ones, well, they become critical. They should confirm it's a good time to talk, give you their full attention, and even smile. Believe it or not, you can actually hear that warmth in their voice.
So now you know the three-step playbook for a great pharmacy interaction. But what's your role in all of this? Well, it's really about shifting from being a passive patient to being an active partner.
But, sometimes you're not the patient. You might be there as an advocate for your child, or an elderly parent, or even a friend. So, how do you navigate that situation?
When you're helping someone else, the key is to be a responsible bridge of information. That means first, confirming you have their consent to talk about their health. Then, come prepared with what you know and always ask for written info you can pass along. Your role is to help the conversation not get in the way of the relationship with the pharmacist.
Ultimately, it all just comes down to this.
The best health outcomes happen when the patient and the pharmacist work together as a team. Knowing the structure of a good conversation helps you give the right information at the right time and ask the right questions.
This knowledge completely transforms you, from just being a passive receiver of information to an active participant in your own care. It gives you the tools to make sure you're seen, heard, and understood, which, at the end of the day, is the foundation of all great healthcare.